What's up, guys? What's going on? See, this is why. So you guys can't see me. This is why I had to restart software. Yo, if anybody has any good streaming software recommendations, let me know. Because OBS was good for a while, but I don't know. Maybe I should need to. It's probably something I'm doing wrong, but we'll see. There we go. I'm back. How's it going, guys? Fantastic to see everyone. Let me reformat this a little bit. Was it lit in Vegas? Yeah, it was fun. It was a really good time. Much needed. So, it's funny. I think a lot of people are coming at me for going to Vegas. I'm like, I never go out at home, ever. Like, I never go to the bars, never do any of that stuff. Everything is life is about moderation, in my opinion. So, for me, I like to go on vacations, and when I do, I have fun. But, for me, I'm very, very balanced in that measure, and I take it very, very easy. When I'm at home, it's about work and doing the things I need to be doing. When I go on vacation, that's when I let loose. It's important to blow off steam. For me, it's always a really nice mental reset. Just have some fun, not think about stocks for a few days, because you guys think about this, right? I do this every single day, and I love it, right? But you need to just mentally get away sometimes too, and reset. And I always feel a lot better the week after and things like that. So why would somebody come at you for going to Vegas? I don't know. I think people are just think that you should live your life because of the way they live theirs. I don't know. So, but it's okay. It's a good time. You guys, I want to make a quick announcement. So the Gamma Gang hoodies, if you were one of the 10 or 12 people that didn't receive your hoodie on that first shipment, that has been sent out to you, that was sent out on Thursday. So you should get it either today or tomorrow. If you didn't get it today, it should be tomorrow, depending on where you live. Obviously, guys, international shipping takes a little bit more time. So please be patient. If you're international, I know it's already late. So, and like I said, we had to reprint those 10 to 12 ones. It was our first merch drop, guys. Obviously, not everything's going to be perfect. We did do our very, very best. But we said we'd make it up to you guys. So if you were one of the few people that was late getting it, just shoot us an email at manstradesmerch@gmail.com. I'll post the email on the Twitter tonight. Send your email over and your just receipt, I guess, or a proof of purchase, and we will make sure you get a free item from the next merch drop. So yeah, I know. I can't be getting Vegas trip when I don't know, maybe one day. I Vegas is a once a year thing. So anyway, I'm gonna give everybody 2 more minutes to get in, and then we'll be good to go. Yeah, I think next time, we're gonna try to do some next up merchandise, and I don't know, we'll see. I feel I don't know why, I'm just a very I don't have a big ego, so having ManzTrades, as much as I I love the community and things like that, I don't know, it's I feel very egotistical putting my Twitter username on a hoodie. I think that I want to do something that embodies the mentality that I believe in, rather than just myself. I'm just not that, Yeah, I'm adjusting the chart right now. It just takes a second. better? There we go. Is that better, guys? All right, gonna give everyone about 5 more minutes and then, or not even, I'm gonna take 2 more minutes. It's been about 5 minutes already, so. As I mentioned before, guys, just so you know, going forward, right, I will be posting the weekly recap later tonight from last week, and then I will have the daily recap from today posted. I just had to go through the rest of my stuff, and I've been kind of trying to get some household things done first day at home, so obviously getting adjusted. Also using a lot of this time to do things right now. The end of August is a fantastic time to make sure the other aspects of your life are prepped for the busy season, right? So you want to make sure you're getting a lot of your stuff done. So yeah, the app is definitely faster. So, all right. So I want to talk about today, and all right, I think everyone that's in is going to be in. As always, guys, the stream will be recorded and it'll be on the YouTube, the Saved Lives playlist. I will repost that link on Patreon this evening if you need it. Really quickly, welcome to the emergency press conference. Yes, I took that from Barstool. I thought it was appropriate. It's the end of August, guys. I saw the action today and I felt literally as though I needed to make a video and do a live about this because it was concerning to me in the sense that this was the worst action I had seen during intraday trading in probably 3.5 months. Like, this was some of the worst action, and I'm not saying that because I'm saying stocks are going down, right? Like, you guys know I don't care either way, but the follow through on stocks that normally have fantastic follow through was awful, right? Like mRNA traded way less clean today, just to name one, right? There was a lot of names that have been trading even, pretty nicely, even with the, choppier conditions we've had. The market was already tough. This market that I saw today, I want to make as few trades as possible and make them count because I don't want to be messing around with, especially in the afternoon, yeah, sorry about that, guys. I have a bad habit of holding the mic. I felt like I needed to make a video because some of the action I saw was just so concerning in terms of, stocks not respecting levels, things just being choppy in a sense like that. So I wanted to hop on and talk about this stuff because this is the type of stuff that I don't want to see people, this is when you can't push it. I broke my streak today. If you guys were wondering, I was red today. The coin swing, unfortunately, obviously did not go the way I had hoped. I probably, looking back, should have taken a little bit more off the table on Friday. I didn't. And, I paid the price today. I really thought Bitcoin was going to be really, even nicer than it was over the weekend. But unfortunately on coin, right, I think the action has been super weird the last few days. I don't know what's up with it, but it's just not respecting the levels that it should be. It's respecting levels. It's just the action isn't as clean as I would have liked it. And, that's fine. It happens sometimes. But, for example, I really thought we would see a better bounce today at 262. We just broke straight through that level off open, as you can see on the 30-minute candle, right? This is off open today. Just broke through that 262 level and then just, just consolidated here between that 153 and 159 level all day. A lot of indecision at that 260 level, as you can tell by these candles, right? So unfortunate, but I'm still in as of now. I thought we might see a general market bounce tomorrow. I think it might offer a better exit opportunity. But, very disappointed in the way this is acted after earnings, especially with how good their earnings have been. I really thought that we would see better action on this. So, fantastic job. Yeah, Apple is definitely going to be back into focus for me. now that we've broken out past at the highs. I wanted to take calls at close. I didn't because the market had been super choppy. But for example, we can talk about, like, you want to talk about choppy market action on the long side. Like, this is what I'm talking about, right? So this morning on mRNA, if you tuned into the pre-market live, right, I talked about how this 373 level was going to be really, really key, right? Because it was strong support, right? And if we broke through, then we would see a flush. What did we see, right? 47% on mRNA puts today. I thought we could test the 327 level. Saw really strong support at this 347, 349 level. Which is not, it's not a coincidence that we saw a bounce there, right? Because if we zoom out, we had some support here on the daily, in and around this level. So I'm not surprised that we saw a bounce. Obviously this was the gap down I talked about filling. I thought we could have filled, down in this range of the 330-ish area. But this has seen a $200 retracement almost from highs. Well, today I guess it was like 150, but a huge move, 150 point move down. I really would like to see this longer term trend line tested before we move forward. I think it could very well pump again, but as of right now, I'm just trying to trade the intraday levels. There isn't as much range, right? But unfortunately, right, it's just not giving as many opportunities, right? So yeah, coin definitely let me down too, but nice. Yeah, no, Apple was fantastic off the watch list this morning. I took it, congrats. I'm gonna look at calls tomorrow if we retest. I will, Apple had this really long, nice period of consolidation. Now we've gotten a nice breakout. I wouldn't be surprised if we test this like 155 level. I think that's the next cycle level, right? So for tomorrow, the 155 calls interest me, especially now that we've closed over at the highs. But even Apple today, right, it didn't exactly trade smooth at the end of the day, right? Like, this was kind of one of the reasons that I didn't want to take the calls, was because we were just consolidating, right, in this range, right near highs. And what I wanted to see was what we saw at the end of today, which was a true breakout over, that level, that like 150-60 level. And I'm very impressed with how it acted. So it's definitely a long side target for me now. For me, I want to see confirmation of these moves, right, before I go in with my hard-earned money and risk giving back gains. You have to play more defensive in August, right? Like, so for me, so many people get caught up in wanting to be green every day and wanting to, right, like, but you end up searching for trades, right, rather than letting the trade come to you and focusing on A+ opportunities. And what happens when you do that is, what you don't realize is you'd be much better off if you just had that same amount of money in November, right, when the market's scorching hot. Saving your gains, especially if you're green on this month, is going to be way better in the long run than trying to make the last 2 weeks of August, right? Like, if you're trying to own those last 2 weeks, like, what I'm shooting for is my position size is cut in 1/3, right? So I am focusing on small size, small gains, right? Today I tried to get big, right? Like, Friday I got big and luckily scaled some out on coin and stuff, but I just got absolutely, like, do you think I'm happy about that trade? No. But the trade was a good risk reward trade, right? Like, I bought exactly at support. I was up 60%. And that's where I let my emotions get the best of me, right? I thought because coin, right? Because I had conviction in a move that just August didn't want to permit, right? And, we saw a nice bounce, but you just have to be mindful, right? You're not going to see the same moves. Like, hedge fund managers have the week off, right? The next 2 weeks, right? They go on vacation, right? Nobody's on Wall Street, right? Like, the market will get hot again when the weather cools down, right? We see this cycle every year. And we're getting into that territory of that early September. We seem to always see a correction around these first few months. And it doesn't matter what the catalyst is, right? Like, maybe it's the Afghanistan, like, issues, right? Maybe it's the issues with the Delta variant or the Lambda variant or the whatever variant, right? So you just need to be mindful that these things repeat themselves, right? We don't know what the catalyst is going to be, but in my opinion, right, I think we will see a pretty decent drawdown come, early September, right? The Labor Day weekend. Yeah, Apple was really nice today. What I'm going to focus on for Apple tomorrow is I'd like to see a test of this 151.3 level, depending on how it acts in pre-market. Obviously, any kind of dip to the 150.59 area would be a buy for me, unless obviously the market says otherwise. But and Apple had some of the best action today. Where my primary focus is going to be tomorrow is I'm going to start shifting my focus away from a lot of names that I normally trade a ton. And I'm going to start looking at Facebook. This tends to be behind Apple, but it should run this week. We broke out of a really nice long consolidation pattern, right? The action was decent on this one today, acted very similar to Apple, just a little bit behind in terms of the move. So I may retake a position in Facebook calls tomorrow. Another one that really, really interests me for tomorrow is Visa. Beautiful move today. I wanted to see confirmation of this move before entering, but we broke through 134. And now I really think we're primed to see a move. Yeah, over this 235 level. This name had a ton of bullish flow in it today. A lot of sweepers coming through for this week and next week calls. So I want to look for a move here, probably to that 240 area. Premiums are dirt cheap, so you can get a really, really nice move on some of these moves, on some of these names. So it's going to be a focus for me because it has one of the best setups. So Bitcoin looks like it's breaking out of this, downtrend that we just tested, that 45.2 level. I really do think that Bitcoin makes a really big move soon. That's why I'm, trying to hold on to this coin swing, even though I fought a lot of. I relied on the levels. It held 256, so I held. I really think Bitcoin is gearing right for a major move, which is why I'm still in. So what about Tesla? I feel like there could be more downside. Maybe, right? Like Tesla, it always seems when these calls, right? When people start, when the mainstream, when the masses are taking calls for an event like AI Day, right? What did we see? This little Monday morning FUD, right? And and it was a little bit more serious FUD. So obviously that sucks, right? And look what happened, right? Massive red candle, totally crashed through 700 support, which I don't like. We had a lot of trouble with the whole 750, getting above this 730 level proved to be a really big task, right? So, and we played this on Friday. The calls were nice. I don't know what made me want, I guess because the coin swing worked out last weekend, I was bullish on the fact that we would have another bullish weekend. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, right? Tesla is not interesting for me over this. I would like to see it get back over 700. I don't like the news in terms of, the fact that they're having these probes done. I like the company, especially long term. I used to own a pretty decent amount of Tesla. I own less now only because I feel like there's better risk reward in a lot of other long-term investments like SoFi and CCIV. I basically have scaled in about 30% of the remaining funds I'm going to try to put into those names. The other 70%, what I'm waiting for is this drawdown I think we're going to see in September. We've been in a pretty tough market now, right? But this is strong support on SoFi. Can it go under 10? Maybe. Can it go under 10? Of course it can, right? I don't think it will go under 10. We have been every single time, right? We've had a correction or we've had strong selling pressure, right? We've, made it down to this 13 level at the worst, right? And we've bounced, right? 14 level, bounced. This is where I feel comfortable adding calls, for long term. This is where I like to add leaps. This is where I like to add shares, right? I wait for these dips. This is when you start going heavier, right? But if we get that correction and get 13, 12, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if we do, then I'm going to be ready, right? And that's going to be an easy load for me. So, yeah, like I said, that SoFi daily is nice. The RSI is in the basement, right? So, I don't love looking. I don't look at RSI usually like throughout the day too much. I'll peek at it. The levels usually tell the story, but I really, when this RSI gets down to this like 33 area, right? Like normally we see a pretty big bounce. So it's oversold for me. Very, very nice risk reward on this one. I love it long term. That's not changing, right? I love the business model. And what I think it's going to be like is Square, right? This is what and look at Square, right? In a year, right? It's insane. So don't you see how SoFi is trading now and then just out of nowhere, gone, right? COVID happens, Square just goes nuts. Oh, right? Like 8 to 300 and that short amount of time, right? So just remember that when you freak out, Square traded at 11, 12, right, for a long time, had to go through a lot of selling pressure. It happens. 2023 leaps for SoFi. I was on this stock before it became a Wall Street Bets thing, before it became, right, call it mainstream on Twitter, FinTwit, right? I've been trading SoFi, right? I was on all these moves, right? This was the last time that I had a major dub on SoFi was right here. This move from 16 to 25. I was in weekly calls that went 500% last time when that move happened, right? I tend to find these moves on SoFi, and when you see it down here, right? I think the evaluation is fantastic down here in terms of market cap. UPST is another one I want to talk about. The action again today, awful, right? I did get I got a huge trade on those puts this morning off that open gap, right? It gapped up first thing in the morning. When I saw the overall market weakness, I went short at 213 on the puts, right? And it ended up being a fantastic trade. So I'm very happy with that. It is forming some new support, which is bullish to see. It looks like this 189, 190 level. This was our resistance, right? So if we go back and look on the daily, right, we had a lot of trouble clearing this resistance. Now that resistance, right, is bullish if it turns into support. So that's what we want to see, right? We want to see this level become our new support. That'd be very, very bullish for UPST. If we broke below, right, the 190 or 188 level, right, that would be my trigger to the downside for puts. I would. The premiums are jacked to a T on this thing right now, but it has a history of making really, really big moves. So their earnings was fantastic. Again, blowout quarter, and it reacts well to earnings. So you have to trade it in that sense. Thoughts on the UPSG offering after hours? If it holds 189, I'll be a buyer. If not, then puts, right? It's pretty simple. The levels don't lie here. Under 188, it's probably going to 165, right? It needs to retest its next major support level, right? 166 maybe. I'm going to look for a flush down to 188 at open. I'll probably add some calls there and then keep my stop loss tight, probably 185, right? I don't want to see it go below that. I want to ride this gap fill down. So, but the earnings were fantastic. So in my opinion on this stock, the dips are buys. So it'll be a major watch for me tomorrow at open for sure. And even though the action wasn't fantastic today, right? I actually, in the afternoon, it was awful, right? This should have been a major breakout. I don't know, maybe someone knew the offering was coming, but that dump right here when we went to test 211, we should have tested 213, right? Logically, right? Then this is what I'm talking about when I say the action isn't as good, right? We broke this resistance. We had some resistance here at 208, right? As soon as we broke that, we gap up, right? On this candle, you should have seen a move to 214. Instead, it decides to, just get a huge dump right in the middle of this gap up, right, on the 5 minute. That's what I don't like to see. That's when I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to play that game because That's not my game, right? I'm not trading with an edge. I want to have an advantage in every situation I go into. Same thing was true on mRNA, right? I knew that trigger was going to be huge for 373, right? Look what happened when we broke 373, right? Really nice move to 378, but at minimum, my target was 385, 383 area, and we didn't really even get close. We filled about half that gap up and just got a ton of resistance, randomly through this area. And it's like, well, sheesh, right? We probably should have filled that gap up, at least to that 380 area at least. So that is what I'm talking about when I say the market isn't as conducive to being successful, right? And why do you want to trade when you're at a disadvantage, right? You have to switch things up. You have to go way lighter, right? Size needs to be different. That's what that's what this emergency press conference is about, right? I'm not here to just go over charts. What I'm here to do is really, like, in my experience, it is a huge advantage to know when to go heavy and when to go light. And this is a time to pull your size back, in my opinion, right? And treat the market for what it is right now, right? Which is a subpar, slower market. Does that mean I might be less active taking trades? Very possible. That's okay. There are people in the group that want me to trade all day. I'm not gonna sit here all day and be looking, right? Like I'm gonna sit here when I know the market is being, conducive, and present quality setups. And I'm only going to take A+ setups, right? And I'm going to look for A+ setups, and I'm going to see, if I see them, right? I've mentioned like 4 or 5 that I think have the very real possibility of being A+ setups tomorrow, but I'm not going to go chasing a move. You cannot chase in this market at all. Even breakout buying, right? Like, there's a, much tighter range. So you just have to be a sniper in this market. Yeah, this is the real August. The first 2 weeks were nice, right? Like, and I don't want to give back the month I've already had. I've already had like a fantastic month. I have no problem with the month I've had right now. So I could, if you're just, that's what I want to kind of impart is if you're green on the month right now, don't go hand it back in 3 days, right? Because then you've worked the first 2 weeks of August for nothing, right? You want to come out at the end of this month and say, I persevered through something, right? Even though we have the next step mentality, so, we bounce back after a bad day, it's important, right, that, let yourself be prepared to take on the market when it's ready. This game is about lasting. It's one of the, Hugh Henney is the person that taught me that phrase. It truly is about lasting, right? It's not about, anybody can be an overnight, hit, right, and last for 5 months and then fade out, right? It's the people that last, through those tougher tests and through those tougher times, right? That really, really find out who's going to be, a quality trader, right? So, yeah, the V levels, sure. For me, V broke over 234.90, very, very bullish. Call sweeps all day, lower volume, but I think if the broader market is strong yesterday, V and Facebook are going to be 2 of my top watches. I love the room up on this chart. I love the 240 calls. Definitely going to be a long for me as long as the market is fairly decent tomorrow. So the market picks up, in my opinion, in the second half of September. The beginning of September is going to be fantastic if we do get a market pullback, because there's going to be downside moves, right? I don't care if the market goes up or down. I just want there to be momentum on both sides, right? That's how we make our money as day traders, is off of momentum and large movements in short periods of time. That's why a chart like mRNA is a day trader's dream, right? That's why you saw it get so much volume, because it's our star ticker, right? Every day trader is loving this right now, or was, right? It's obviously slowing down. There was a lot less volume on contracts today. But it was fantastic. It provided so many opportunities to make money, and that's why people traded it, right? But like anything that gets overextended, it needed a pullback. So yeah, it's tough, man. Yeah, and that's why that's why I hate even giving out those earnings plays. I mean, they provide some really nice opportunities, but I don't want people to hold full, because it's just that creates bad habits people think they're going to beat. If Figs had, the trade that I missed on Friday, which I wanted to talk about. So if you were watching, was this, what a move this was on Friday. Let me find it. Yeah. What a beautiful move off open, right? 34 or 37 off open, right to 42. What do I look at to know if the market is good or bad? I'm trading on a daily basis. So I'm sitting here watching these tickers all day, and I can tell just by the way they're moving, right? Whether this is a quality day or, it's trash, right? It will show itself pretty quickly. Today showed itself pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be that great of a day. So I definitely even overtraded. Guys, it's hard for me to say things are up. People are like, are you guys just like, you see only trading lottos right now? It's just, there's a lot of lotto setups, guys, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but the market is, I'm not going to put high confidence if I'm not highly confident in a trade, right? And I'm journaling my trades for you guys. So yeah, in my opinion, mRNA was probably, a higher, like now it looks like a high confidence setup, of course, but it was a lot of, for me, like the size, right? So yeah, I'm going to give you about, like, I try not to get pushed out of, like, positions I take too quick. Like, after, I want to see the two, like, if we get two really bad days, obviously I'm going to be a little bit more bearish. Normally in this market lately, we've been getting a bounce. You had good earnings. I think it bounces, in my opinion, tomorrow. If not, it definitely has a lot of room down under 120. So that's going to be my stop on Unity. Obviously, they expire this week. So I want to see the move tomorrow back to, a decent level. And then I'm going to, if we don't get it, then I will exit. But I feel like the market is at least going to give us a rebound in the morning. One other name that I'm going to watch tomorrow is Fastly, FSLY. Coming back down to a big key level here. This thing is still in a pretty nasty downtrend. This was fire, like great short. I don't know why I missed this, but I want to say I did take Fastly puts, but off 45 level, couldn't break it. If it had, it would have seen a big move up to 51. It's fading back down now. I personally think we can see a bounce here right around this 40 level. This was strong support, or as you can see, strong resistance when we broke out this last time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce off this level. It looks like a lot of people were accumulating on the level 2 today. I saw a lot of big orders go through on the tape. So yeah, I really, really like it. Yeah, I think so too. Yep. Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to touch on Apple today. I wanted to see confirmation. So Bitcoin's making a nice move right now. I don't know if you guys can see it there. Just bounced about $1,000 off that 45K level. This 47K is a big area. But I still think we're seeing the 55K level soon. So just need to retest those old resistance levels. But anyway, as I mentioned on Fastly, right, old resistance, now new support. I want to see, I like the calls off open. I almost added them today, but as long as we don't see a big gap down below this level, it could see that 34, 35 level. Things look bottomed, which is why I'm concerned about when we do get a correction, because to me, look at SoFi, look at Fastly, look at a lot of these names, right? Even, outside of Facebook, Apple, right? A lot of these Fastly, SoFi, et cetera, these names are sitting at major support levels, right? So if it breaks this and goes to 33, okay, maybe it's got some room down. Where does it go below that? 25? That's huge, right? It's a massive pullback. And the same goes true for SoFi, right? And so that's why I want to have my blinders up come September, because what, you're gonna see 10 on SoFi? Jeez, that's what I want to, that's where I want to be ready. If we get a big dip, right? If we get like a legitimate crash, I want to be ready, right? And I want to be sized and ready to go. So that's my thought process going into it. I wanted to do the emergency press conference because I think it's important that you guys hear this. And I think it's really important that I emphasize how much it is important to just kind of take a step back, realize you don't need to do the most every single day, right? Like, realize when it's your time to take advantage of the market, and realize when you need to respect the market and wait for an A+ setup, right? So being patient is the biggest thing, right? I talk about it all the time, but the discipline and mental aspect is like 90% of the battle, right, in the summer. And right now, at least my mental state is, okay, time to ease up, right? There's no reason to ruin your month. Like, having more discipline, staying true to it, right? And being true to the principles that I talk about, because I think they're really, really important, especially at times like this. Last thing I want to see is you guys, give back progress that you've made, right? Because I think a lot of people have made some really fantastic progress the first few weeks of the month. So remember, it's about keeping it, not getting it, right? It's a big thing. So I will call this my emergency press rant. It's now concluded. I went over some setups that I really like for tomorrow. I will be covering this again in the pre-market live, and hopefully we'll have some market direction by then. I'm going to go ahead and post the link for the merch on the Twitter and Patreon right now. Or not the link for the merch, but the email link if you didn't get your hoodie on time. So I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I apologize for being late. This OBS stuff is really getting on my nerves, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to stay up for a little bit and try to figure this stuff out now while I do a few things around the house, get the watch list kind of started for tomorrow, and then get ready to attack things tomorrow morning, right? Get up at them early. Today was a nice little recovery day. Market was slow, but going to get after it the rest of the week and take advantage of as many opportunities as possible. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in, as always, and emergency press conference is now concluded. So I will see you guys tomorrow on the Twitter. Be well, as always, and talk soon. Stay green. We'll see you guys tomorrow.